no intro in that, but basically a breakdown of how I'm looking to trade this week. Just going over fundamental events and also my technical analysis on setups that I'm wanting to trade. So I'm obviously going to reset my charts and show you guys what I'm trading for this week. Right, so let's start with if my thing can actually load. Nothing can actually. Okay, cool. This is fine. Alright, I might just be breaking down the charts with you guys, showing you how I analyze. Let me just reset the thing. I always like to reset my charts every now and again to get a fresh view of what the market is doing, rather than having a being biased towards the sell or the buy side. So we'll just let's start monthly, just to, guys, I'm not gonna edit this. You guys are just gonna, if you don't want to watch, don't watch it, bro. Okay, cool. So we're in a huge uptrend here, as you can see. We have our low here, right? High, low, high, low, and then now it's, as you can see, it's bullish move. This pin bar, we still have some bullish volume at the high here, which tells me that we're still in an uptrend, right? So let's hop down. I'm not really gonna say where it's gonna go from here because I'm not a long-term trader. I'm not really concerned about that. This would be more important though. As you can see, we're at a huge resistance right here, and it caused the market to head down a bit, but I do think we're in an uptrend. So, but I have to look at both sides, right? You have to see if you are a buyer and if you are a seller. You need to look at both sides. So obviously, as a buyer, right, you could get in here knowing that price is going to target liquidity, and liquidity is above these highs, because here the stop losses are above these highs here, right? So it wouldn't make no sense to get in here, right? But as a seller, this would be a major resistance zone, and you'd pretty much be targeting these lows or these lows here, right? If we hop down to the daily, right? Pretty much the same thing. We have these lows here, so let me just show it to you guys. We have these lows here, right? We had a lot of volume in these lows right here. We had a lot of bullish volume right there, so you can see that those are really nice lows. But yeah, go down to the 4 hours where we'll start marking up on the 4 hour, because I like the 4 hour because it's a little bit more clear than the 1 hour. It's a little bit less choppy. So we'll mark down our major zones. So here, okay, let's start from here actually. So we had this high here and we made a low. We had a lower high, then we failed to make a lower low, right? But we did make a lower high. So now it's resisting over here. Right now, if I was a buyer, I would wait for price to show some rejection off of this support right here. Right, I would want to see a rejection off of this support right here. right? I want to see a rejection right there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Right there, because here's telling us, okay, if this buy is at this level, this is pretty much telling us that this buy is at this level and price cannot push any lower than that, right? Yeah, we see that price cannot push any lower, right? So obviously now we know, okay, when we're above this level, we should be aiming for these highs right here, right? If my Chromebook could stop, if my Chromebook could stop being so slow, that would be perfect. So we'd want to aim for that right there, right? So if we just put that into emphasis, we can see, okay, cool. If we're aiming for that right there, that's around 150 pips, 140 pips, right? But since it is a high, since it is a switching trend, you wouldn't necessarily want to take profit right there. You aim for this high, and if you're ambitious enough, you can even aim for that high. Alright, since a lot of the times when it's the first move, when market shift structure, maybe from a downtrend to an uptrend, from an uptrend to a downtrend, it usually moves a lot. Let me make an example using this shift right here, right? This was 300 pips. This was a 300 pip move, right? Because previously before that, you can go look for yourself. If you check at JPY, you know. So previously before this, price was in a huge uptrend. Like price was trending in an uptrend for a long time. Then when you finally shifted structure, this was a huge move that we got to the downside. All right. So now that we know that I think price is actually already rejected over here. Now that we know that price is aiming towards this high, we can hop down to the lower time frames and look for ICC there, right? So cool. Excuse me. Cool. So now that we see made a low, right? Made a lower, and we can consider that a lower high, and then we touched this box. I wouldn't necessarily consider this as a touch, because every other time we had good wicks coming inside the box, right there as well. So I wouldn't really consider that as a touch. I would want price to actually tip into that a little bit more, but maybe we can wait for price to break these highs right here. I should actually give us confirmation that it is bullish, and then we could look to take out entries towards the upside right here, right? Take out entries towards there, get us a nice safe entry. You know what I'm saying? Safe entry, and then obviously coming up, price will give us lows, and then we'll just set a stop loss towards the lows. But I'll be looking at a risk to reward of 4, right? That's what I would be looking at for catch APY essentially. But otherwise, if it sells, I genuinely do not have any interest. If it sells, then it would probably target these lows, but we wouldn't sell at the same time. We would sell and correct itself above the level, and then would aim for those lows right there. But I am biased more towards the buys, right? Towards the buys. I'm not going to really do that much, but we also need to consider it is December, right? We also have interest rate. We have an interest rate this week on Canadian. Then let's just go to GBP JPY and break that down. Very disappointing, man. Right, so guys, this is obviously GBP JPY. I like this pair because it's not as manipulated as it's not as popular, therefore it's not as manipulated as other pairs, but it is still very volatile and gives a lot of opportunities for huge moves. As we can see, this moves a lot, this pair moves a lot. Obviously this is a 1 month, so you can't really say, but yeah, let's look at current price. Price has been trading up really well, and we can see that it's aiming towards these highs here, right? So obviously when price is trending, it's going somewhere, it's either forming something or it's going somewhere. So you need to, and if it's forming something, right, you don't want to enter. Only when it's targeting a certain area, then you'd be interested to enter, right? So I don't trade Mondays, which is why I'm able to give you guys this analysis on a Monday, breaking down the live charts, because yeah, so as you can see on weekly, trending nicely upwards. Have some nice highs. We broke this high, showing that we are still bullish, right? So that's with daily to just get a little bit of a better look. Alright, so currently we see that price recently broke this here, right? It broke this and formed this indication, and that got corrected below this level, of course, and then it got continued, and now that's why we see another correction. So I'm not gonna break down on the daily, it's a bit too generalized, but I'll hop down to the 4 hour to get a better look overall swing. But what I'm saying is, you see that this high was broken and shows that we're still bullish, right? So we can say that every time price came above this level right here, right, this is very important, right? Not why I chose this level is because this is where price broke a high. This was a high, rejected a bit, and then it was broken later, not too long ago. Not too long after that, and we can see towards that, when price came up, made a low, right, and made a high, another high, then it made a low, not breaking this one. So I showed that we were still bullish towards this level right here. So every time price came above this level, it came here, right, and then when we came back above that level, we came here. So if you want to be safe, you could use this level, but no, that was a mistake. But now I want to use that level, okay, cool. So all we want to make sure of is that price doesn't break this low right here. We want to make sure price doesn't break this low. If price ceases to hold this low, then we could say we are bearish, because even when price corrected itself, it still didn't break this low here. It didn't break low. We can see these huge wicks, which I wouldn't count as a breaking of a low. It shows that there was rejection at that price. But yeah, I did want to live stream this, guys, but unfortunately I couldn't. But yeah, so I'll be very happy if price doesn't break this low, and then what we'll be waiting for really is just a nice break of this level right here, right? And then just to show in comparison what we'd be aiming at, 200, almost 300 pips. So guys, also just to maximize profits, you guys need to learn how to scale in. So for me, I'll scale in at the break of this level. If we get a nice retest as well, I'd be more than happy to scale in more positions towards this level right here, so that would be a really nice trade right there. So I'm not gonna put too much analysis right there. Let me just put an arrow so I know what I want above this level, right? So we're looking at buyers above that level, right? And you could say, oh wait, is this right here not an indication towards the downside? No, we don't necessarily have any structure that tells us this is a downtrend, because okay, you got your indication, but if this was a downtrend, why was this high broken? You know, highs are broken only in uptrends, lows are broken in downtrends. So therefore, this is a clear uptrend. Right, and then I'm just gonna run through all of these. I'm not gonna waste your guys' time. You see, this is why I also like refreshing my analysis, because my charts do get a bit choppy. Okay, cool. GBP USD, I cannot lie to you. I really think this is a downtrend. You know, because we have this huge low, we have this move here, corrected, and carried on, and we did not break this. We did not break this lower high. It was an equal lower high, and we broke this low here. Right. So now it seems as if we have a correction. Right. Correction. So this is now the lower high. I would say this is the lower high. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if it is, but I would say this is a lower low, because we had our nice move here. But what we could say is that if we break this low here, if we break this lower high here, it would be a shift in structure, and we'll probably be aiming for this here, right here. But what would add confluence to that is this left shoulder, this head, and the second shoulder here. Right, these are two price peaks, and it would be a reverse head and shoulders. That's something to consider. Right, if we hop down to the weekly, we can see that as price came up, now that we're coming back down, all of a sudden we formed support, and now we're aiming for here, right here. So that's what I would say as a buyer. But as a seller, I would say that this was a move. Now we're correcting, and we having a small retracement before we head back down to run about this level, or this level right here. Alright, hop down to the daily. Cool. Daily is still a downtrend, right? Downtrend, and now we're having correction. Right, but it's really hard to tell, because it's not necessarily giving us a clear sign, and now it is starting to range right around about this level, right? Because now we're having some nice moves. We're having some nice moves here of an uptrend, right? So in terms of GBP USD, I'm not sure if I'll be trading it this week. It doesn't really seem like it's moving, but of course, to analyze it for you guys, let me just do my work here. So I would take this level right here, right? And the reason I would take this level is that it was a high, right? And it was also used as a resistance. So obviously, guys, you don't buy here. You do not buy here, right? Because obviously this is where liquidity is. People are all going to be entering here. You wait for price to come a bit lower, right, and show some rejection, and you could say, oh wait, but if it goes below here, that's a break. Not necessarily. The only time it's a break is if it breaks the lows, right? You can't necessarily consider this a low, because this was the high, right? And now it hasn't given us necessarily a low yet, right? You can't give us a low without giving us a high, right? So this was a high, and then you could say this was a low, right? And then yeah, so you would want price to show some rejection here, so we can aim for this high right here. So this is now what I always look at for it to be a worth it move is to see what is what's the pip, right? What's the potential of the move? 100 pips? No, I wouldn't go for that trade, because for you to get a clean entry, let's be real, you're not gonna get a clean entry a lot of the times. So you probably catch maybe 70 pips off of that trade, 80 pips, 90 pips, 100 pips, but it'd be really hard for you to do that. But instead, on a 200 pip move or 300 pip move, like I showed you, it'd be easier to get in with the trend, right? Because you'd be less pressured. But 100 pips is not necessarily worth it, and also the price is ranging. I don't like it. Based off of me, I'm not gonna even analyze this. We'll wait for it to move a bit. But from a sell bias, we can say that this high was made and this high was not broken, right? Which is another reason why I would say it's a downtrend, showing us that it's a downtrend, because this was a high and it wasn't broken, right? It needs to have a body that closes above for it to say, okay, no, it was broken. But we could say that, let me just show you. We could say that no, this is actually a, so if I would be more biased to sells, right? Obviously there's a lot of liquidity sitting at places like this right here, as a retest zone, or here, or here at the lows, right? So I'd be waiting for price to make an indication to the downside, or correct itself and continue to the downside, right? But let me just have an arrow pointing at what I wanted to do, right? Then we'll move to another currency pair. Okay, cool. For AUD, like, it's been a nice pair, right? It moves the way that I've saying it's gonna move, but it's really hard to get an entry for me, yeah, right? But yeah, okay, cool. So let's look at this now. This is good for educational purposes, right? Okay, so a lot of people will say this is a downtrend, but let's look at something here, right? We had our low, and we have a lower high. We broke that lower high, right? But now, as we're coming close, we're coming close to this low, and we show some rejection, right? That rejection is followed by an indication, and that is followed by a correction, which rejects off of this here, right? This here, showing us some support, right? Showing us some support, and that is validated by this engulfing candle, this bullish engulfing candle from the previous month. So I would say now we're in an uptrend, right? I would say uptrend just yet, but a definite shift in structure, right? Because we have rejected the candle. Here's where it rejected off of, right here. Rejected off. Maybe I'll draw support post for the wicks, right? And now we'll be aiming for here, no, just here and here, right? That'd be more realistic. I'll hop down to the daily, and we can start to see, yeah, it definitely gave us a shift in structure. Created a support, right? Broke the support, took the liquidity, and went to the upside, right? So yeah, obviously now as I said, price is either forming something or targeting something. So we have previous structure that shows a double top here, which shows resistance, and I would say now price has bounced off of the support. It should be aiming for somewhere around here, right? Obviously it's not going to go straight there. It's going to trend, going to make its highs, lows, highs, so it's not going to go straight there. But what's important is that we know where it's going, right? Because when we know where it's going, then we can have our entry points, our exit points to be most efficient in the market. Right. So it's been trending brilliantly. We had, yeah, I don't know if this was CPI or what, but we had an event, right, that really actually showed, okay, now we're bullish now, right. An event that showed that we're bullish, right. It broke this. We had candle closures above this, even if it's at the slightest, as long as it closes above the previous bodies, that is a new high being made, right. Okay, cool. So just give me time. So yeah, we have our lows. So the reason I started with the lows is that we need to make sure that these lows aren't broken. Alright, just based off what I can see. Alright, can I get a box, bro? So what I can see, every time we're above this level, alright, we aim for Ella, where's my object tree? Okay, just give me a second. So every time we're above this box right here, we pretty much aim for these highs, right? So this was a high, right? As in the same thing that I think it was in GBP JPY, same thing, as coming up to a resistance, right? Price retraced and it broke that resistance, right? So it didn't break this low, it didn't form another low, and it broke the high, and it came up, giving us our indication. And when we bounced off of this resistance, we got our continuation, completing the move. Right now that we're waiting for our correction, we can be waiting for price to come back down to this level, or give us some sort of resistance over this support right here. Actually perfect, right, to come to this level right here, right. So yeah, pretty much now it's time to measure if this move would be worth it. Right, for AUD USD, it is pretty worth it. 100 pips. Since it's not as volatile, it's not going to be as willing to sweep liquidity. So getting a better entry point would be better. Instead, for GBP USD, it is way more popular. So that's why it would be 100 pips wouldn't be as good, because for a popular pair, right, you'd be looking for bigger moves, as there's more money in that market, more people are trading it, which means there's more money going into that market. So 100, so you tell me, between GBP USD and AUD USD, both of them have a potential of 100 pips. Which one do you think is more willing to hit? I would say AUD USD, since it is a less popular pair. It doesn't move as much, so 100 pips is actually really good. So yeah, I would be waiting for price even to maybe come below this level, right? And then, right, so let me just mock it up for you guys. Right, this level specifically, because this might not be as relevant because we're already past that, but come below this level, right, take out the liquidity, and then us as smart traders, we look for the liquidity to get swept first, right, then we can go for our buys to the upside, and we could put our, as I said guys, you're not always going to catch the full move because of your entry point. Your entry point is to give you confirmation of this is actually bullish, right? It needs to give you, obviously, go for risk to reward is 4. So pretty much 3.98, you know, it needs to give you confirmation that, okay, yeah, we are actually bullish, and yes, we are going to take out that high, right? So if price breaks this low necessarily, I'd be seeing it as an indication to the downside, right? I'll be seeing it as an indication on one price to make a correction before I sell to that recent low. But this is my setup for that, for this week, specifically on that pair. Now brilliantly, we're on Euro USD, right? So this is why it's always important for you to wait for your confirmation, because obviously I waited for price to come to this zone right here, and I saw, okay, this was a low on the lower lower high on the low time frame. So if it broke this low, came back above and retested, then I'd be willing to buy. But you can't just buy at a support not knowing whether if it's actually gonna reject off of there. You need some sort of confirmation. When it came to the support, it just ended up breaking, and it came to this low right here. As you can see, it is kind of rejecting off of this low, which was marked up last week, by the way. I haven't been in the chance since like Thursday. Okay, let me just clear for you guys, right? I think that would be the last one, because I think that would be the last one, right? Because I know you guys aren't necessarily going to trade NZD JPY, right? So okay, cool. Let's, you guys, you always want to do top-down analysis, right? Whether, oh, it's not part of my strategy, I don't need to do it. It's always good to get a feel of what the higher time frame is based off of, you know, because the higher time frame can tell us what is the long-term move, right? And when you know the long-term move, you can hop down into the smaller time frames and see where that correlates with the long-term move, right? And when you catch that on the lower time frame, you could potentially hold, like, let me make an example. If we say, okay, we're bullish now, right, and we came above this zone, and we can see, okay, this was a zone, right, and we can say, okay, now it's a reverse head and shoulder. If you waited for a retest right here, you could be aiming for these highs right here. You could have hopped down into a smaller time frame, got your perfect entry, and could have been in your buys towards the upside, you know. So it's always nice for you to do that, because you get the bigger moves, because you know where price is going, you know, rather than if you look at your 5 minutes. If you look at your 5 minutes and see, oh, wow, no, you know, it's always better to get a feel of the lower time frame. No, okay, cool. So we were obviously, so for people who are looking, right, you don't want to go that far because it's not necessarily relevant. I like to look at, obviously, monthly. You want to look that far, but 2021 is fine. So we had a move to the downside, right, with our correction, of course, right, and then now we're sort of having prices deciding whether it's going to go to the downside or it's going to go to the upside. So we see that it is kind of ranging here, right? Now from a sell bias, we can say this low here was this low here right here was broken, and this was indication, and now it's correcting itself to go to the downside, right? But from a buyer side, we can say this is our left shoulder peak, right shoulder, you know. I'd be biased towards the sells, to be honest, but I realized something when I saw this when I hopped on the weekly. So we had our move to the down, right? Price corrected itself right here, you know, and it came down, but then it broke this high, this lower high, came down, and it broke again. So for me, that says that we're bullish, And just to show it again, we rejected, we showed some support over this zone right here. Right now, you could be saying we're aiming for this high right here. Now you could say, oh, but this was an uptrend and it was broken, and we broke this low and we closed below this level. It's all based off how you want to think of it, right? This is a weekly time frame, so the closes of the candles are like pretty much generalized. They're not as precise, right? So I'm just trying to see where price changed direction, right? Which zone did it change direction, right? Because you're not catching entries off of weekly, So let's try to get a feel of the daily time frame. If our Chrome could just load. So okay, cool. Now we're in a downtrend here, right? And now we're having a correction, right? So this tells me if we're in a downtrend and we had a correction, now we're starting our move to the downside again, right? Now if we're starting our move to the downside again, we should be aiming for these lows right here, right? That's what I would say. But you could look at this right here and say, no, we actually broke a lower high, right? You could say we broke a lower high, whatever, man. We'll have to consider that price is in a consolidating zone, right? As we saw on, I think the monthly, I said it was in a consolidating zone. Price is deciding whether it wants to go to the upside or the downside, right? Now, okay, cool. We definitely had a shift in structure on the lower time frame because we're on the 4-hour trending upwards very beautifully. We broke this low and now we're at this low right here. So I would say, right, let me just get my box here, guys. I'm not editing this video, so you guys get me to like 1k subscribers or 500 subscribers, then I'll start editing videos, okay, cool. So I'll use this. I think this is the key zone, right? Because when we broke this level, right, I'm using this level because it broke here, right, and it formed support, and when we're above this level, we trended all the way to here, right? Trending all the way to there, and then now we're at this level again. If I see price make a clean break here, make a clean break right here, right, make a clean break right here, I would say we're bearish, right? This would be my indication to the downside, but if we see a nice rejection and see price break this high right here, I'll take that as a confirmation of being bullish and aim for right here, aim for right here. So that's my bias on Euro USD. I'm not going to complicate it too much because having a bias towards one side I think is the reason why I've lost a couple of times, because a lot of the times when I had a bias of being neutral and let the market show me what it wants to do, not having a bias gives you like sort of a clear mind, because you're not having a bias, you're not being biased towards the buyers or biased towards the sellers. You're just looking at what the market is doing and reading what it shows you, which is important, because therefore you're not going to be staying in a trade that could be losing, or because you're watching what the market wants. You're watching and listening to what the market wants to do. So that's why I'm not choosing to have any bias towards where it's going. Right, this week I'll just be looking, okay, and this might even play out next week. Might play out this week. I'm not gonna force it, right? So again, if if we break the zone here, I'll take that as an indication to the downside, wait for a correction or a form of resistance to be formed, and then aim for that low that it created, or wait for price to break this high right here, because I can already tell this is a high on the 1 time frame, right? Let's just wait for it. Yeah, right here. I wait for price to break this high right here, right? Because you could say, you could, as our retail traders in the chat, could probably see a nice trend line right there. And then where's our measuring tool? So obviously what's nice about waiting for a bullish confirmation is, again guys, remember something. Euro USD is a very popular symbol, right? So this move would be worth, no, let me measure from here. Actually, it would be more fair, it would be fair to measure from here, right? So this move is 180 pips, right? That, see right there, that's a little bit more reasonable to enter. But also just looking again, they're forming support here, and if someone could explain to me why price had to go all the way there, right? As I told you, the higher popularity of the pair, the more liquidity is likely to be grabbed, the more manipulative it's likely to be 10 minutes before closure, right? And it's closing above this level, which is good for a buyer's bias, right? Probably a lot of people got stopped out or thought it was a breakout. A lot of people got faked out, you know, thinking okay, it's gonna break out, so they sold, whatever, right? So I would only be interested in price if it breaks right here. If it breaks right here, which gives me a bullish indication as it breaks this right here, then I'll be looking, if I don't get an entry here, I'll be looking to get an entry here. Man, even if I catch a couple pips from here to here, I'd be happy with that, you know. Guys, just something to remember, that I had to like, sort of learn this the hard way, right? And I've seen it both ways, right? Growing an account, it just matters about making consistent profit. Not even consistent profit, but just making profit in general. You know, I realized that I don't need to like get that 300 pip trade or that what trade. You know, it just matters that I make profit on the account. You know, if you have like, if you started off with $100, you know, and if you started with $150 and you lost a couple trades, and now you're at $80, and then you finally get in a trade and you're up $20, right? And you're like, no, now I have to hold to TP so I can make my money back and be positive on the risk to reward ratio, and that trade ends up going to break even, or you end up losing that trade. Man, if you just closed on the $20, you would have had $100. You would have actually had even though it's not that much of a win, it's still a win, you know. And I think if a lot of people had that mentality moving, like I'm going to adopt that mentality moving forward, because soon enough those will compound, you know. Those wins will compound. You start to get, you know how they say when you get the ball rolling it's easier, right? So you'll start having a winner effect or whatever, you know, and it'll be easier, like you'll be a little bit more confident to enter the trades, hold on to the trades, hold on to full stop loss or whatever, you know. And I think that's important for your mentality as a trader. I think it doesn't matter, you could have the best strategy in the world, or the worst strategy in the world, but what matters is your psychology, is what makes you profitable, right? And that's the truth of it. So just to finish off, guys, almost lost him, right? You need to be aware of what the heck. Let me filter this out, bro. Ain't no way. This week, yes, that's correct. Filter, I think that's the filter, or NZD, yes. Not worried about that. So, guys, another thing is today, chef, Swiss franc had CPI, not worried. Euro, I don't trade Monday, so this doesn't apply to me. Tokyo core CPI, so there was going to be the CPI tomorrow for GBP, JPY. All JPY pairs pretty much, but here's the important one: RBA interest rate statement. So this is AUD. I'll be trading this event at 5:30 tomorrow morning. Wake up, trade this event. I'm just gonna use my strategy. Oh wow, GDP. I'm gonna wake up to trade that as well. I have a strategy for all of these. So I don't trade speeches, NFP. I mean non-farm. Okay, so employment change pretty much. We'll see if I trade that or not. Okay, I told you guys. So I told you that there's gonna be a Canadian rate statement this week. I might change that as well. Unemployment claims, I'm gonna trade that as well. Then we have NFP on Friday. So pretty much I won't be too eager to enter the markets this week, as it is NFP week, first Friday of the month. So yeah, guys, I'm not really keen to enter on trades like this. But also from AUD USD, the other day, I think it was NFP or CPI, it really moved the markets in a positive way, right? A lot of the times, like, news messes up the markets, but that time it was good for the trend. But yeah, if it meets my standards of a trade, then I'll enter. And then not too important, but I also like to look at the current currency strength meter. But so long, let me pull this up from right. That's gonna load so long. Then I don't know what this is based off of, but it usually works well with me, as this, I think this was around the same stats last week, and it was actually really accurate. AUD had 4 bars in terms of strength, and USD was very weak, and we saw a really nice trend to the upside. Euro also was really strong and was trending up really nicely. And so basically how we would use this is look at a pair that you're trading. So Euro USD, right? And you look at the strength of the Euro, look at the strength of USD, right? And see, okay, cool, Euro, what the heck? Okay, so since Euro is stronger, Euro USD would be Euro USD should be trending upwards, right? If GBP and JPY, right? So since the GBP is looking weaker than the JPY, then it should be selling, right? If it's USD versus the JPY, the USD is a lot weaker than the JPY right now, so the USD JPY pair should be selling, right? USD versus the Swiss franc. Since the USD is weaker than the Swiss franc right now, then the Swiss franc, the USD shift should be selling, right? So you guys should just learn that a little bit. I don't know what this is based off of, but it worked nicely for me. And also sentiment, right? So as I told you guys at the time, with the Euro USD, it was trending upwards. It was trending upwards, but I was seeing a shift in structure but yeah, we can see a lot of people are biased towards the south, right? And I'll make a video on, yeah, this is gonna be my next video idea on how to use the forex sentiment. But okay guys, see you later. I'll probably trade for you guys tomorrow, for the rest of the week. If I see any setups for the day, I'll trade with you guys. But yeah, that's it guys. I swear if this wasn't recording, ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way, boy. Okay, wait, let me just do this. Okay, cool. Yep, perfect. See you guys in the next one.